There's probably no denying it. The waveform is truly one of my favorite shapes. But this time, we're going to give it an abstract twist with neutral colors, clay pieces, and reflective microbeads, all the while creating a 3D piece of art. Now, let's dive in. Welcome, SeaRoxxers. Well, this is our original design concept for the day, but this isn't exactly how it ends up. Now, to create those 3D abstract pieces of the wave, I'm going to start with some DOS air dry clay. Now, I am an Amazon affiliate, so I'll put a link in the description for you. I do receive a small percentage if you do purchase it through that link. Once the clay is rolled out to your desired thickness, I went ahead and just traced the pattern right over the top, and that way it makes a nice indentation I can cut out afterwards. And if you're paying attention, that original design didn't have these holes in it. So as you know, I got a wild hair and an idea, and I thought I would try something different. Didn't quite go as I planned, but it still turns out pretty cool in the end. And here's a pretty cool hack on how to get that clay back into the right shape once you transfer it. See? Check out how slick this idea is. And to give a little more interest and 3D effect to this, I went ahead and propped up some different areas, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. So all I did was cover different beads with some aluminum foil so the clay didn't stick to it, and I also used some cut straws. Then I just repeated that process 2 more times. Now, while that clay is drying, it was time to work on the background. I'm going to use a modeling paste, and you can find it in my Amazon link in the description. Then all I did was just create some texture. Splash that like button if you're enjoying today's video. It gives me lots of feedback, and click the bell so you never miss another one. While I liked it, it still wasn't finished. And then I just gave in and created a darn wave shape. To add a little more dimensional interest to this, I went ahead and diluted that modeling paste and made it kind of gloppy, and then I just flung it on my canvas, just randomly. All that paste is dried now. I went ahead and coated it with some primer. Now it's time to paint. So we really stretched and tried not to use any blues or turquoises, which traditionally is what I'm using for my waves. Anyway, so we're going for a neutral palette this time. And can you tell, it's even just difficult for me to talk about. While I'm waiting for that paint on the wood panel to dry, our clay is now ready to be painted. And adding to that 3D effect, I just glued some flat beads onto the backside. Instead of whitewashing these, I decided to use the spray bottle with some diluted white paint. Could I have whitewashed it? Yeah, but this was a lot more fun. And since we're on the subject of fun, why not add some gold foil? I'll add the link in the description for you because you can find it on Amazon. We're going to use art resin today, and I'm going to show you another way you can use resin. To the resin, I am adding a mica powder by Eye Candy called Glimmer White, and it is just a beautiful iridescent shimmery white. So here's a little different technique. I do not want drips with the resin on these pieces. So I'm not going to pour and I'm not going to drizzle. I'm going to control the amount of resin I put on by just using my fingers and my hands and kind of using them as like finger painting actually, and just making sure I get every nook and crevice, but not too much resin. Check out these iridescent little teeny tiny micro beads. I ordered them from Amazon on accident years ago, and they're perfect for today's project. I also got curious and wondered if this Deco Color gold pen would color them, and it did. So I colored some of those iridescent beads gold to go with our gold foil. And to help those little micro beads stick on there, I just used some resin that hadn't cured yet. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and we can make some art together. Okay, a bit off topic, but totally relevant, so stick with me. Have you ever read the book, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, where if you give him one thing, he wants something more? Well, that's kind of the way I feel, because once I used those little micro beads and the iridescence in the resin, then I remembered I had this wonderful product by Golden, and it is Bead Gel, and oh my gosh, so I just had to add some more beads to the background of our wave. Once those beads are dry, I'm going to varnish this in Arteza's acrylic varnish in satin. Our reveal is next. Contemporary, modern, and abstract is our wave for the day. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed yourself and you're inspired to try something with clay or some 3D art, or even use those silly little marker beads. I invite you to join the SeaRoxx family. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends, salty or unsalted. You can follow me on other social media platforms, although I am still getting used to this working full-time gig. Let's get monetized so I don't have to do that anymore, okay? But if you are in the market for purchasing art, you can visit my website, and I have an Etsy shop. Thanks for watching. Until next time, go beach or go home.